Go. Alright, I think we're live again. Hello again, everybody. I'm Nicosar. I'm going to be running a game called Product Number 3, which I think quite a few people have heard of, but it's certainly not a famous game by any means. Pitchy here is going to be joining me for commentary.
That's right, John.
Always
That's
a wealth
right,
of information on video game nerdery in general and Capcom weirdness in particular.
Oh, I mean, various video games and weirdness in general. I've been really on a Taito kick lately, but that's not relevant for here.
Not quite yet, at least.
Yeah, we're here to look at, like, Prototype God Hand, but it's a shooter.
Hey, what's this tea towel that's appeared behind you guys? What's that about?
Yes, so the celebrations might have gotten a bit out of hand after Ali set that personal best. Unfortunately, we had a teacup take a tumble and shatter on the floor. Fortunately, only in 2 pieces, so no safety concerns, but quite a bit of tea had to be mopped up. These things happen.
Blame it on the goose.
Yeah, quite reminiscent of the run that we just did, actually.
Yeah. Oh well. All your fault.
Yeah, but the barefooted man, he can now safely be barefoot in the house. So, what difficulty are we playing Product Number 3 on?
So this game is speedrun on easy. In principle, you could always choose to speedrun on a different difficulty, but easy enemies have less health. They're either, it's more straightforward to blast them out of existence, so it's generally just a preferred option because it's faster, basically.
Yeah, hard mode seems like more of a super play type category.
The other unfortunate thing is that hard mode's only unlocked by beating the game, and that has a bunch of forced carryover of unlocks and points from previous runs, so it's just a bit messy trying to navigate that. How are we for time? I reckon we can probably afford to start.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much whenever.
Yep.
All right, so this game usually is actually done by in-game time, but the RTA, the real time, begins when the game is started, so I'll just give a countdown on that one, and ends when the final cutscene begins and the player loses control. And yeah, I'll just do my best to give warnings for those, but yeah, RTA is not super important for this game, fortunately. Alright, so let's begin. I'll just do it on a count of 3. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Action. So what's the lore of this game?
Well, yeah, this is a game where it's very obvious to anyone who even takes a slight look at it that gameplay came first and story came second. This is from quite early in the GameCube's history, not right at the start, but very early at the point where clearly the rush was just put the game on the market. We've got 3 other teams working on other games. None of those are going to be ready for years. Let's just release something.
Oh yeah, I remember this being in the GameCube launch issues of things like the Hyper magazine for the Australian examples here.
Yeah. So basically there are some robots that have gone a bit haywire and have taken over a military base, and Vanessa Schneider, player character here, has been sent to get rid of them by a mysterious client that doesn't like showing their face in video calls.
But likes to leave lots of Coddy's apple juice and cooler cordial?
Yeah, I guess so. There are power-ups scattered all over the place. Green is health and orange is energy. Sometimes they're useful, sometimes they're not really worth it. The client also likes to nag Vanessa for things that pretty much could be figured out by the player without too much difficulty. Tutorial systems. Oh, well, I could say they've come a long way since then, but they
also happen
now. So, unless most rooms in this game, it's possible to simply ignore the enemies entirely, just walk your way forward and push A when you're next to the door. And you just get to go into the next room and the enemies can't pursue you. There are, however, some rooms, like this one here, where if we move, we see there's an orange field surrounding that door and it's locked.
Ooh, that's facing...
I didn't position myself very well there, but that's okay. We'll just have to blast that enemy the old-fashioned way. The other thing is that Vanessa has 2 types of attack. The palm shot is the basic one. It can come out pretty rapidly, but it's not automatic, so that's why I'm using this as the claw grip for the controller here. The other option is energy drives, which are gated off behind sort of fighting game special move inputs, essentially. Very easy ones, but I still manage to flood them constantly because the GameCube D-pad doesn't like me.
And you have to use the D-pad, not the analog stick for it.
You have to use the D-pad, yes. So energy drives have a couple of advantages. Firstly, it's possible to target more than one enemy at a time with them, like we're doing here, which is completely impossible with the palm shot. That doesn't count. That's just a bit of finesse there. Secondly, while the animation for the energy drive is playing, Vanessa is completely invulnerable. And this game, if you've seen, for instance, if you've been tuning into the Dark Souls run earlier on in the marathon, you'd notice there was a lot of rolling down at good times to take advantage of invincibility granted by it.
Yep.
This game, there is no invincibility for your dodge moves. They do get you out of the way, but they won't let you tank a hit that you couldn't have otherwise taken. So the energy drives are your only way of just being able to say no to an attack, and that's quite important for a lot of the boss fights.
Yeah, it's a lot more like, say, a bomb in a shmup.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy there. There are a few, sort of, like, certainly the philosophy I like to feel with this game as well is it's very much harkening back to the oldest days of console gaming, where you had like games like Metroid, like Castlevania, where...
Oh yeah, definitely Castlevania 1.
Yeah, like where the developers clearly intended the player to deal with challenges in essentially a preset path, and they'd have to learn by doing. Enemies are quite threatening to your character. It doesn't really look like it in a speedrun because you choose not to fight them. But a lot of these basic enemies are actually, it's not trivial to engage them if you choose to do so. And certainly if you're trying for a high score, it's going to take you significantly longer to do all of this. Fortunately, we don't really care about points that much. They are currency. So there are a couple of times where we're going to try and get a full combo in a room when theoretically it would be faster to just go forward earlier, simply to afford some upgrades, but most of the time we're just playing for speed. So we get our first boss fight here at the end of the first mission. This is Sonnenblume, Sunflower, pardon me.
Yes.
But Vanessa just calls it Mr. Giraffe because that's what it looks like. And then it turns out it's one of those classic fake boss fights where it's not possible to win. It's and if you do enough damage to it, then your client just tells you, "Oh no, it's too dangerous for you. We're going to evacuate you," no matter how well you're performing.
You may be good at fighting, but the plot is happening.
Yeah, all the deep, intricate, layered plot of product number 3.
It's okay, we'll be escaping the plot at some point, won't we?
At some point we will. We will look at the plot and we'll turn 180 degrees and we will move at maximum speed.
If I was facing a plot, I would simply leave it. Oh no,
okay,
Resident Evil 4.
Yes, I've run into the Pew Pew laser. Fortunately, they're not very powerful, but...
Yeah, you don't need a cigarette to see them in this.
Taking damage is bad, if nothing else, because it does slow you down a little bit. Using the energy drive on this enemy there just because it's a tiny bit faster than sitting there and shooting them, but it's really, that's a luxury. Sometimes you want to save the energy because you need it for later rooms.
And they give you a bunch of refills in this room anyway.
Yes, however, a lot of those are down to luck. There are a bunch of static refills that will always appear in specific rooms of the game, but there's also essentially a randomly generated chance for almost any enemy.
Has anyone worked out if it's
health.
a random drop or if it's like, say, Zelda 1 drop patterns?
As far as I know, this game hasn't been data mined, and I've been too lazy to research whether people have just done any testing to figure that out. Partly because drops are often not as relevant if you're not speedrunning. The speedrun community, unfortunately for this game, I say community, but really it's just a leaderboard at this point. I've been a bit too lazy and insular to reach out to anyone else who runs it. But there are some pretty excellent players out there. Like my runs, I learned how to run this game not from my casual play. Like I played this game casually, and that's why I got into it and why I decided to speedrun it. But pretty much everything I know about the routing and execution comes down to people who, I just watch their videos.
So you've done a lot of runs before where you try and get like full combos and stuff and play on harder difficulties?
Yeah, I used to basically play for high scores. Fair bit of time I'd play, I tried to get a no continues run done with the Papillon suit, which is sort of the final
the one-hit kill one, right?
Yeah, where you've got access to every super move in the game, but every shot will kill you in one hit. Which is kind of fun in its own way, but obviously it's not viable certainly not viable to do it as quickly as you can here, because damage is something that does just happen in real conditions.
Cool, if you guys have a moment, I've got a donation to read out.
Yes, go ahead.
So we have $21.62 from Zenesis, and Zenesis says, flip kick to the win.
Nice. Shoutouts to Guile.
Alright, thank you very much. And I'm mismanaging this quite badly actually. I've had to burn an extra energy drive on dealing with these enemies, but fortunately I got a drop there. The other interesting thing about this game, which might not be apparent if you're just looking, is that it has tank controls. I remember people rolling their eyes at it when it got mentioned back in the croc block right at the start of the run. And this game is similar in that if you try and just yank the control stick to the left or right, it won't make Vanessa run in that direction. It'll just make her revolve around on her axis.
So what's the button to kasploosh in this game?
Unfortunately, Vanessa can't fly. No hovers, no matter how good you are at the game.
We just need to break it a bit more.
Yeah, perhaps
actually
it just
form a speedrunning community for it.
Get to work on the tech.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
2 points.
All right, so we're just going to power up here, get energy maxed out for the suit there. So now we blew up a reactor there, ostensibly because it's going to help us take care of the next mission, which is a revenge match against Mr. Giraffe. So this time we're going to have the boss fight for real. Our client thinks that Vanessa's all grown up now and she can handle it. Oh, okay, there we go.
Capcom games were really into the animal insults for bosses at this time, Flock off Featherface.
Yeah.
Like 2 years earlier.
Don't know, I guess that one is just that obvious from looking at the design of the machine. I wouldn't be surprised if, one of the people in the modelling team or the animating team had just been making fun of the concept artist, and that's where the name came from.
Oh yeah, especially since they've gone for we're going to use the German names for flowers.
Yes,
multiple layers of flower of Hanakotoba going on right here.
Yeah, so this room, we've got some locked doors up ahead, so we do have to kill all the robots. Nothing personal with the robots, we just...
nice, the 180.
Yeah, so there is actually a separate button. It's the Z trigger on the GameCube controller. If you just tap it, you do a 180. If you tap it while also rotating the control stick left or right, you'll instead turn 90 degrees in that direction. And sometimes, obviously the issue is that if you're doing the silly, tap the button really hard because your thumb can't manage it in a conventional grip at that speed. It is a bit inconvenient to swap to the Z trigger for the turnaround, but it can save you a lot of time because, Vanessa actually turning around is slow.
Was that a missed jump, or is there actually supposed to be something supposed to do to turn off those lasers?
That was a missed jump. They do, however, have a pattern that can make it easier to get the jump sometimes. So they take turns switching off for a brief period. And so when the one at the very start or the very end is switched off, you can get further. But it is possible to just make it through completely clear. I just failed.
Yep.
Alright, so now we're coming to a room where... Oh, no, I've misremembered.
Is it lasers? It's always lasers.
Oh, it's not lasers yet.
No lasers.
No lasers yet. There's more lasers to come. But no, now we're coming to a room where the client is like, oh, there's a locked door there, and it's the most convenient door you could have walked through. It's locked, you can't get through. So instead, we've got to take this big platforming detour up. And so, unfortunately, with the aforementioned tank controls, Vanessa is not good at platforming. There's every possibility that we might just flub this jump here, but we don't, and this jump here as well.
Oh!
Not good. So unfortunately, I've just got to go all the way back there and try that again.
Well, look, she's a mercenary, not a professional platform jumper.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. Oh no! And then this unhelpful cylinder robot.
Oh
here,
no!
Well, that could have gone worse. We at least just fell only one platform down. But yes, they've got an attack where they just lay these laser tripwire mines. Half the time you don't care because they'll use it when you're away, but... Oof. Alright, so that's a finesse fault there. Unfortunately, the button that's used to open doors is the A button, and that is the same button that's used to shoot things. If you're close enough to the door opening the door takes priority. There are also a couple of other tricks you can use to force the door open command to be the one that gets resolved. But if you're not careful, you'll just shoot, which is a bit dangerous as well because it will force the camera to focus on your target. So I've promised Ali that I'd sort of give myself a bit of an incentive to avoid doing too many of those. So I'm going to be donating $5 at the end of this run for every finesse fault I have when I'm supposed to just be opening a door. Really, it's the easiest thing in the world. You shouldn't be able to flub it.
You sure you haven't exhausted your ASM budget already trying to force my hundo run?
Well, it worked, didn't it?
Can't deny those results.
Now, yeah. We'll see how we go on that front. So that previous room as well, that actually has a variable number of enemies in it. The sort of little mushroom-shaped floater enemies, when they scan you, it's possible for them to make extra enemies spawn in the next room, which sometimes is very bad. Sometimes you don't care about it. Oh boy, and I'm seconds away from death here, and we've got a room now coming up, I've remembered, unlike all my practice runs, full of lasers that will, end me if I touch them because I'm on no health.
That is a Resident Evil 4 room.
And then unfortunately on top of the lasers, there's also robots that want to shoot me. And one of our mine-laying friends, so I'm going to play this uncharacteristically slow. I'm just going to need some audio cues here, so just bear with me a second. And there we go.
Nice.
Okay.
Everything's smoother sailing from here because, for one thing, there are no more lasers. Secondly, there's actually a chance to get some pickups here. So we'll just destroy these big laser cannons, and then trigger a couple more cylinder friends. Hopefully that timing's right.
I like how these guys just slide down the slope. That's my favourite.
Just going to come in and say hello. Yes, there we go. That is actually just good luck. That was not reliable. I had no way of knowing that was going to happen. And then I'll take care of these two, get a full combo to the room.
Get
there
some
we go.
juice.
And get some juice, recharge to full. Often, if you're not lucky, you might have burned your energy a bit less efficiently leading up, and you actually need to chew into that energy in order to take out the enemies in this room effectively. So it's nice being able to move forward and full.
I think I asked you about full combos before, but have we actually talked about how the combo system works?
No, it's pretty basic. Essentially, every enemy you kill has a base points value that you always get awarded. When you kill... they also activate a timer. Every time you kill an enemy while the timer is still active, it'll add 1 to your combo, and it'll add that enemy's base points value to the combo value, essentially. When it runs out of time, you get awarded, essentially, you just multiply the number of enemies in the combo by the total points value of those enemies. It can be worth a lot.
So when you kill a big one, you get a lot of time, but when you kill a little one, it doesn't add the time?
Yes, that's correct. So a lot of the time, if you're dealing with the little, sort of satellite enemies up the top, that sort of thing, sometimes they can ruin a combo because you've only got 3 seconds to kill something else, which is usually going to be bigger and nastier and have more health.
So the combo is very relevant to routing because that's your currency, right?
Actually, no. Mostly because, generally speaking, if you play fast, you're going to get combos anyway. And fortunately, the number of enemies that you have that are essentially that you're forced to destroy because they guard locked doors give you enough points for basically whatever you could want.
And we're just gonna keep shooting bombs.
Oh, yeah. No, at no point should you be vulnerable to that boss in that fight. In some routes, in fact, you don't even care at all because you don't actually change suits at any point. They just do it with the Prima Fusion from start to finish. I'm going to be buying the Prima Blazer though and using it for this mission. We've got a couple of reasons for that. Short term, it's mostly just because it's got a different energy drive. In the long term, it's also just got a slightly better cannon, but of course I haven't upgraded that yet, so that doesn't count. So we're going outside now. A very, very short break from the game's long white and grey corridors full of robots. The robots are still there, but now the corridors have made it.
We're jumping forward like 4 years into game development, where it's all brown again. Not enough bloom though. You can tell it's before 2005. We haven't had like Gradius 5 in Shadow of the Colossus to ruin video games for a brief period. Oh, that friend, that's scary.
Yeah.
Oh, nice jump.
Yeah, we got a big scary robot tank thing, but they didn't spawn it close enough to the canyon wall, so we can just jump it past. Unfortunately, I'm pretty confident it's not possible to do the same with this one. The canyon's tighter, so we've just got to blast it out of existence. Sorry, friend. There are very few situations where you destroy an enemy that's not necessary to open a door. Maybe like 4 or 5 over the course of the whole game, and that's the first one of them. Likewise, this one is kind of in the way, but not really. We can just walk around.
Hey, come back here.
Alright, we've got a lot of walking now for the rest of this mission. There's going to be no action at all, so if we've got any donations, or if you'd like to sort of go through the event a bit for people who've just tuned in, it's a great time for it.
Yep, I didn't see any donations when I last checked, but I will just talk about what this event is and what you can help to donate towards. So this is ASM, Australian Speedrun Marathon. And as usual, we are running in support of Beyond Blue, which is a mental health advocacy charity. Beyond Blue work to reduce the stigma associated with anxiety and depression, and they're also there to support people who are afflicted, as well as their friends and family. So if you wish to support Beyond Blue, you can type !donate in the chat. I'll do that right now. And that will bring up the page where you can provide donations, and you can also put that money that you donate towards incentives. So We have.
I believe my games have been met, so...
Yeah, so I believe every bonus game for this marathon has been unlocked, and all that we have left are bid wars. So you can bid on the protagonist character in Summon Night 6 Lost Borders. You can bid on the file names for both A Link to the Past and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time file name. There will be... It's a race, so there are 2 file names that we have bidding open for. So if you're interested in supporting the event, you don't have to put your donation towards an incentive, but if you want to, you can do so. And we like to read your donation messages out here on the screen as well. So if you want to leave a nice message to the runner or a friend, we can do that for you.
What did we get? The recoil? Yes,
Oh,
nice.
That's why we're using the Prima Blazer here. Its energy drive is the Harrier!
Nice!
I have never been so lucky with this one in the past. This is possibly a segment best for this mission. I'm not splitting it, but yeah, that's...
Wow.
Yeah, you often get accidental extra damage inflicted. I'm very happy with that.
Because yeah, the bomb on this suit basically has bouncing shots.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of walls in this area of the game.
Notes that not only do they bounce, they also pierce enemies and enemy shields. They just go straight through pretty much everything that isn't a solid wall. But for now, we're just swapping back to the Prima Fusion because it's pretty handy specifically for the boss encounter of this mission.
Plus their homing shots.
Also
the animation's way quicker.
While we haven't had any donations, there has been quite a bit of good P.N.0 chat in the Twitch chat. I've just noticed a lot of this game seems to be running past enemy robots. Makes you think they were not very well programmed.
Yes, fortunately in this timeline, the robots haven't yet progressed past falling down while trying to open doors. Long may that remain the case.
We haven't gotten to the polite robots yet, have we? Or we've seen a few
we
of
have.
them.
I think, our cylinder friends?
Yeah, the ones that, they sort of like try and push past each other.
Oh yeah, well I guess we haven't come to the point where their politeness is useful.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not very... and we are also seeing this, I guess, on the easy difficulty.
Yes. Of course, when it comes to just choosing not to engage enemies, every difficulty is the same.
Yeah.
If I were trapped in a hallway with killer robots, I would simply leave the hall.
Can the robots make a good cuppa, though?
Oh, I'm not sure. I wouldn't trust them.
Oh, they're gonna smash all the mugs in this house.
Yeah. I do actually like these, not these fellas, so the large flying robots, I just call them hands. Because,
Ooh, get the combo!
When you look at them, we're gonna get the combo. We always get the combo. I suppose they're possibly equipped to make a very large cuppa, but I wouldn't trust them. They're jerks. They'll always shoot you at the least convenient moment.
Yeah, like the hands are the sort of robot that'll make the cup of tea and then not tell you they made it for 2 hours until it's all cold.
Like, why didn't you drink it? It was sitting there on the counter.
In a creepy voice.
Yes, unfortunately Vanessa's movement, very, very limber, but unfortunately she cannot cancel her cartwheel into flying across the screen quickly like we saw in Birth by Sleep earlier.
No. It's entirely possible that there is movement tech to be learned in this game. Broadly speaking, this category is essentially completely glitchless. There are 1 or 2 things that are sort of rely on kind of somewhat janky exploits of level geometry, but purely in terms of sightlines and shots being fired. And all the movement you see is just basically bog standard what anyone would be doing when playing through a casual run. So I'm far too lazy to grind out anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's something that can probably be cracked open.
Yeah, so any glitch hunters out there, if you can get your hands on a copy of this game, it's not very common. Yeah, maybe there's something to be found here.
I'm taking a slight detour over there because I don't trust myself to jump over the hole in the floor while it's blocked by the body of the collapsing robot. Cheeky little energy drive there, and we'll just shoot this missile launcher. They're very slow missile launchers, and I miscalculated that one.
Sucks if they hit you though.
Yes, they're very inconvenient. Weirdly enough, their tracking is so bad that sometimes the missile will miss you and then circle around and hit you again after like 10 seconds of wandering around in the air.
Oh, the strategy.
Yeah, they're very, very clever missiles. Just not very fast. Alright. So, oh, that would be quite kind to us in its movement. Sometimes they'll whirl around behind you and actually basically be impossible to hit without a manual retarget. So here is one of the worst rooms in the game. The start is nice and easy. 3 missile launchers sitting there. We can just blast them away with an energy drive and use that last residual piece of invulnerability to get out of the way. But now the problem is we need to jump up. We've got to sort of climb up inside the tower while getting shot by these little turrets. And while they don't track very well, they are extremely good at shooting a stationary target. Which, I guess one other thing that's got a lot of attention at the time when P.N.0 was around, but I just kind of take for granted now, is that Vanessa can't move and shoot. You know, either she's, if you want to hurt something, you've got to stand still. Not as relevant in a speed run because you pick your battles much more carefully, but it can take a lot of adjustment if you're just looking to come into this like it's a regular old action game.
Yeah, in a post-Monster Hunter and Dark Souls world, it's like, yeah, of course you commit to actions. That's certainly at the time running.
There we go, that's the missile, and I think I've been trying to be greedy there, get shots aligned on both of those and failing. So I'm just going to have to kill this one the old-fashioned way and then blow up the reactor at the top. Despite the several faults there, that's the best I've done that room in a long time.
You didn't fall down the steps.
Yeah.
So.
Every practice run I've done in the last week for this game has involved at least one fall all the way down to ground floor.
And I think that happened in our test stream the other week as well.
We had a good fun test stream if you want to check that out as well. I can't remember which of our channels we streamed it to.
I imagine it would have been Alley Cat?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to check that out, it's pretty much what we're doing now, but we may have tested all the jokes that you're hearing.
That's the beauty
You
of
can hear
preparing
them all
for
over
speedruns.
again. Yep.
Look, a speedrun is as much a performance art as it is just playing a game through. We're here to entertain.
Alright, need an audio cue for this one. Okay, so that was the second best outcome possible there. So those new bots, they launch little plasma burst stations.
Yes, that one always nearly gets you.
The big sort of snail-like robot at the very start has 2 attacks. There's one where it opens up and shoots the giant blue energy ball that you saw miss before, and there's another one where it uses this turret underslung to sort of do a shot that tracks a bit. I got hit by it on the first thing, and it gave me enough mercy invincibility I could just walk through the giant plasma flings from the other robots. Normally those ones are really tense to jump over, so it saved me from having to actually execute anything. Thanks, robot.
Robots. So those were the polite robots then?
I guess so.
Yeah, they were the 2 and yeah.
I resigned myself I was going to get hit anyway, I just take the weak hit. This room is potentially terrifying, because you've got a bunch of missile launchers, you're in wide open space, there's no obstacles to stop the missiles, and it's very small. So things will tend to sort of come up from behind you and try and beam you in the back of the head, and the camera doesn't give you much notice.
This is a good area for discussing the concept of verisimilitude.
Whew, see, there we go. Just exploded on the invisible level boundary that
nice.
excludes the shots just before the edge of the... Yeah. Basically, Vanessa can go there, but the missiles can't.
Oh, watch out for that moon door. Oh, no, that actually is just floor.
Ali, I originally thought that all of these were bottomless pits, and I was being extremely brave, skirting them by the, tiniest margins, but no, this is glass. Unbreakable glass, fortunately.
If you've got a moment, I've got a donation to read out.
Go right ahead.
Alright, so Anti-Ginger gives $107.02, and they say, Edelgard did nothing wrong.
Well, I would expect nothing less from Anti-Ginger. If there's anyone who has a different opinion, well, you know how to make yourself heard. And now this room hasn't gone so well.
Yeah, really cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your donation.
Thanks for the donation. Welcome to the Westphalian Pack Discourse.
Okay.
And with that, I believe we are now past 9k.
Wow.
Oh!
Okay, wow.
It bumped us up actually a reasonable amount above 9k.
Nice.
Okay, normally I sneer at the thought of being a tiny little baby who replenishes before this boss fight, but well, I saw my life flash before my eyes going through that last room, so we're going to get health and ammo, and now we've got to fight a train that is also an orchid.
Checks out.
Yeah.
My grandma grows a lot of orchids. Checks out.
We may have started a bit of debate in the chat about Fire Emblem now.
Oh, no. Fire Emblem's banned. We're for real Capcom games. There's that Breath of Fire talk, eh?
You know, actually, just a little bit of, no one actually cares about us, but we actually met first on an Advance Wars forum.
It's true. So, if we want to take the truly jaded thing, it's like, well, whatever your opinions about Fire Emblem, Advance Wars died so that it could walk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so I botched this boss pretty badly, but it's done now. Those homing shots will get
Sorry, we were too busy thinking about Fire Emblem and Advance Wars.
The Silent Protector Advance Wars.
Alright, so that's the last that we're going to see of the Prima Fusion. It served us well, but between a mixture of something we can do in this mission and personal preference, I choose to run with the Prima Blazer for all the rest of the run.
The basic shot's higher damage as well.
It is. That is relevant in the next couple of missions, but by the time you get to the very late missions, enemy health is high enough that you actually save less time with it. Because its energy capacity is lower than the Prima Fusion, so you don't get as many energy drives, even though they're better. I feel I should point out that every other run worth its salt is Prima Fusion 100%. Not sure whether that's down to a difference of opinion in routing, or whether it's just because they hadn't quite.
They don't like menus.
Pieces. Well, that's the other thing too. Obviously, any time that you choose a different suit, that is going to make your RTA worse, even if your in-game time's not affected. So, absolutely not throwing any shade on the Fusion purists. And I almost forgot which version of the room this is. So, keen-eyed viewers might notice that this room cropped up before in Mission 3, and in fact, we are revisiting that mysterious, agonizingly locked door we couldn't go through.
It's just like a Metroid game.
Yes,
specifically Metroid Fusion.
I was going to say, Adams, managed to figure out how to unlock the door in Sector 4. I'm pretty sure Sector 4 isn't one of those ones like that, but whatever.
Sector 4 is water, so you do a security room in Sector 4 at the start.
And Vanessa has about as much agency in this game as Samus is given in Metroid Fusion, so yeah, it's a fair call.
Yeah, slightly more than Other M.
Well, Vanessa has learned the art, unlike Samus, of opening a door without having to shoot it first. Much more polite.
Maybe it's just that the robots have the wrong sort of guns to open the doors with. You need, the plasma beam.
Maybe the robot guns will open the doors. Anyway, so we've got one more corridor full of little, thing of robots to go through, and then we'll be back at the junction point from level 3. Our client helpfully informing us that this is the room to care about, and we're not going to have that scary platform section anymore. Come on, client. There we go. Instead, we can just do this and not do anything at all, and the missiles are going to get fired at us and never miss because they can't hit a moving target, and we're good.
Yeah, the influence of this game is felt throughout the games industry in subtle ways. For example, Gone Home is heavily influenced by product number 3 speedruns. What's with these plasma balls? I've seen a number of them. Are they just a cool thing to touch?
So they're checkpoints, effectively. I think energy transporters. They give you access to the in-game shop. So if you want to do an upgrade mid-mission because you've earned more points, or if you're desperately low on continues and you need to buy some more, they'll sort you out. They've got everything you need.
Yep, Capcom game.
Yep. Absolutely unnecessary in a speedrun, but occasionally handy for just a casual play, and especially useful for first-time players. Some of the early missions are quite long.
Oh no!
Chat, however, says, I feel like you might be a bit facetious in talking about the influence. A touch.
Chotto.
I feel that there is definitely some of this game's DNA has made its way into some games with slightly more concrete associations. Certainly, Vanquish managed to take some of that, smash some stuff up in a high-tech aesthetic while basically being, selling itself Devil May Cry style.
Yep.
You can probably see a bit of Bayonetta here as well.
I mean, I think, because Clover wasn't formally a thing yet, it was kind of born from the vestiges of the Team Beautiful branding. So I'm pretty sure that people at Capcom who would go on to help form Platinum with Kamiya were probably involved here. This game has all the things Hideki Kamiya likes without it being one of his games.
Alright, so here we go.
Not quite, there's no motorbike.
Yeah, this is the one significant time save that might people would go, oh, what? There you go!
Nice.
You got it!
So, normally you're supposed to have to climb all the way up to the top of that area, kill some robots up top, and then the shield around the reactor drops. But the Harrier's energy drive, its shots will pierce shields. You're just not allowed to target something behind a shield. So if you just fire it off right away at the start, there is a very good chance that your shots will just smash through the turrets and then go through the shield as well and the reactor's gone. It saves you 20 seconds. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get this awesome speed killer, and the game still negs you at that amateur ranking at the end.
Yep. Yeah. So the other thing is that even if you hadn't heard of this game before, you will probably have just heard bits and pieces of it because 2 of its music tracks actually got recycled in Resident Evil 4. Mission 4, way back, the first outdoors mission, I believe its music gets used for Krauser's Mercenaries missions.
Yep.
And right now we're enjoying the hilarious sort of, club themes that they go for when Hunk is on the rampage. I think it's Hunk. It's not Wesker, is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Hunks.
Yeah.
You know, one shot with the TMP, push A. One shot with the TMP, push A. One shot with the TMP, push A.
So this one is another sort of, you just, they did do hype up the whole you're going on a night mission, whatever, and it's nothing's done with it. Now I do
You're on a night sneaking mission, and I have some robots in hallways.
Very careful not to get scanned by the floaters over there, because
scanning.
if you walk into this room, we'll see, there's empty. It's a pre-boss room. If you get scanned, there's a bunch of turrets, 2 energy cannons, and a whole lot of little machine gun dudes. So don't get scanned. We're now ready to meet the 3rd boss. This time we've got a dandelion, Loenzan. And we'll try and fail. There we go. We get the energy drive off. Targeting this one is a little bit iffy sometimes. There we go.
This should be good.
This should be good. There we go. Excellent. So it's a 2-stage boss. It opens up a bit, and this will just go kaboom. Goodbye. It's gone. That one, the first stage, if you don't get it correct, can take a lot of time. It stops shooting at you with the cannons and starts doing this spinny, invulnerable instant kill move that is really hard to track. So I'm glad that I didn't flub that. Mission 9 is essentially another Redux mission. It's similar, so back in Mission 6, when we fought Train Friend, there was another room with you can't get through this door, so now we can get your door up ahead.
Man, these robots.
They try. They're very polite. They won't get in each other's way.
I love how they've pushed each other aside and then they shoot forward and neither of them can hit you because you're between them.
Yeah, the robots are they're the germs trying to get at Mr. Burns, and Vanessa can just exploit the fact that they can't converge their guns.
Hang on.
Normally shoot upwards.
Look, we're trash talking the robots and now they're having their...
No.
Okay, the robots get no respect, and they've taught me a lesson. I'm sorry, robots.
Their revolution has begun. They're gonna damage boost you towards that door in retaliation.
Please forgive me. This room's a particular troll for first-time players because the equivalent room in Mission 6 has no enemies. In this room, hands come out from the side and try to laser you. Fortunately not relevant in a speedrun because you can just walk faster than they can catch you.
The nerve of this mercenary! She walked through the door!
Yeah, eventually, the armament management system will build a robot that can open the door, and Vanessa's done. She's no way she's going to be able to handle those. Walk forward a bit to trigger that spawn, and then we go here. Sometimes this one can be a bit unfortunate. Side steps can let them dodge the energy drive. I'm actually going to take the slight detour, pick up that health, just because things can get a little mean in the tail end of this mission.
Those random blocks you've been avoiding, those are just item pickups inside crates,
yes,
right?
Yeah, you shoot them, break them apart, and they'll give you a random, or sometimes not random, pickup.
And sometimes they're just there to throw off your aim.
Yes, sometimes they don't serve any useful function unless you're really, really profligate with your energy drives. Nothing really interesting coming up here. So, any donations or something else worth saying, not a bad time for it.
Yes, we have a $25 donation from Salty, and I think that might be Salty that we know from Oceanic Squids. And they say, it's a funny number over 9,000!
Wow!
Because we are now on $9,069.
Nice.
Well done, Salty.
That's an epic score! Hey gamers, want to help get our score even higher? Oh, you're gonna have to beat up this guy?
No, okay, there we go. Unfortunately, I've not used my energy drives as well as I should have. I've not managed them nicely, and I don't get any accidental picks here, so I'm gonna have to kill these robots the slow way. Gonna have to eat a missile to the face because I couldn't dodge there. So, just gonna have to turn the temperature down a little bit. Unfortunately, they've also got shields. Okay, this should be fine. There's one more robot, but the level geometry makes it impossible for them to line up a direct shot on Vanessa. So as long as they don't shoot a missile, they actually can't touch me.
That's very unsporting.
Yeah, shout outs to Call of Duty. No hit scans though, so bad analogy. Ah, yes.
Oh, this
Favorite
room!
corridor.
Yes, the corridor, the tiny cramped corridor. They must have run out of machine gun robots because they put a bunch of missile launchers in there. I don't know what they're expecting them to accomplish.
The most inexplicable room, yeah, we're just going to put a whole bunch of missile launchers in a
What could
very
possibly
tight,
go wrong?
enclosed space.
Alright, so now we have, as it turns out, we've got a rematch. Once again, it's train time. Orchidee is turned red and wants revenge. Unfortunately, this one also has a bit of an input thing, so I'm just going to shut up now.
Come on, let's go.
You just got to track it.
There we go. The big thing is making sure you can get the energy drive on in order to become invulnerable, because otherwise those shots hurt. That was brilliant. That's cleanest I've done that stage in ages. Because, yeah, so now we've reached the point. Loenzan's taught us bosses can have stages, and we go down the lift, and then, oh no, we're in a trap, and this thing's transformed into a giant walking spider, and it's going to mess us up.
Recess time's over, boy.
Oh wow, it's gone into cannon mode already. This, I'm off the map here. Normally it just does a bunch of big, Super Mario jumps. Oh yes!
Nice.
Wow, I am absolutely blessed by that.
Very good.
Collateral damage from the earlier Super blew it to pieces. So now we found a plot.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Hang on.
we found the plot.
What?
Yeah. Oh no, there's a mysterious person in the tank, and they're wearing a suit that's just like Vanessa's, complete with the shades. And it's like, oh no, we found the plot. And the client's like, oh no, you found the plot. Get out of there. So no plot for Vanessa. She doesn't want to know what's going on.
Okay, we are literally running from the plot.
Yep, running away. We've got 5 minutes before the plot arrives, and we're just gone. Yeah, there's probably going to be a bomb or something.
Alright, so we're getting out of here. Even though we left, we found something interesting.
Yep.
If we don't escape in 5 minutes, a Metal Gear cutscene begins and takes 2 hours.
So we're returning back through all those rooms that you already cleared,
Yes,
right?
we are. So normally, we haven't done any backtracking, but normally when you backtrack in this game, any enemies you killed stay dead. But for this specific sequence, fresh reinforcements have arrived. Of course, in this case, the
missile launchers!
No! Oh boy, you disrespect the missile launchers, and they'll show you why you shouldn't do that. Then again, that one just did shoot it into the wall.
Just shot the missile into the wall.
I should also point out that even though there is a blast animation, there is no blast damage there's no splash damage on missiles in this game. Only a direct collision will hurt Vanessa. So that accomplished nothing.
They try. They try.
Ooh.
Oops. Okay,
A
here
bit
we go.
unfortunate to land in the shot there, but unfortunately we have to blast this fella out of the way. It's just too close
large
quarters to get into the door. And now the most frustrating part of this escape sequence. We've got a bunch of hands, and the doors in this room are locked now, so we have to actually engage them. You jerk.
Oh, it actually did the hands thing.
What a hacker.
And now, unfortunately, there's a few different spaces they can spawn, and they have huge difficulty navigating those walls there. Sometimes they come down on the wrong side of them, and it takes forever for them to reach you. So what I need to do is try and encourage them to spawn in spots where they can come over the wall close to me, so I can get rid of them really quickly. Oh, come on, friends. There we go. Oh boy, this is this
scary.
is 3 times more than I'm usually shot
dropped
in this
health.
room. It did, but I'm
okay.
foolish and I have tunnel vision. I am going to do a safety. Wow, I thought I was going to do a safety super there, but I've just flubbed the input constantly. There we go. I've wasted a lot of time on that, but at least I didn't get shot. That's the last room of this mission. Oh boy!
Oh, that was 2 shots.
That's 2.
$10.
What are we at? We're at 3.
That's
Hey,
3 total.
free.
3 total.
Okay.
3 finesse faults.
So Vanessa's safe for now. Next mission, the briefing, she asked the client what was up with that, and the client just says, too bad for that poor sucker in the tube. I guess they got blown up good.
No, read
Work
the
for me
wiki.
more.
If you've got a moment, I've got a donation.
Plenty of time.
Alright, so we have $54.06 from Narthalus, who says, enjoying watching some Aussie speedrunning. Keep up the great work.
Oh wow, thanks very much, Nala.
Yeah, it's been
Cheers,
a while. Yeah. Hope you're doing well.
Alright.
And yeah, thank you for your donation. Yeah, having run away from the plot, I will quickly summarise, I guess, who we are and what we're doing. So this is Australian Speedrun Marathon. We're running in support of Beyond Blue, which is a charity that benefits those who suffer from mental health, anxiety and depression issues. Yeah, we've already smashed records from previous years, but it's not too late to donate. You can still donate towards as we make this like terrifying rush towards 10K, which is really exciting. And if you wish, you can put your donation towards one of the incentives listed in the spreadsheet. So I've just typed in the chat. You can see the spreadsheet and the donation page. So if you're keen to help out a worthy cause, then head on over.
Bit of a tricky room, this one. Very big.
This one is my least favourite room in the game. It's very big, there's a bunch of enemies with long-range attacks, and sometimes they just decide to hop around and not get hit. Okay, so 2 more enemies left to take care of, and implicitly, you know, there is a locked door. If this room didn't have the locked door, it would still be a nuisance, but woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Okay.
Get that full combo, we got 2 seconds left.
Nah, it's not happening, but we're long past the point where points matter. But it's just nice not to get slowed down by a missile to the face. Okay, yeah, and I'm actually on very good pace as well. So just gonna have to maintain my cool and keep on going. Yeah, these little spider enemies, they're cute. They try. They've got a bunch of attacks that you'll never see in a speedrun because they only work when Vanessa's really close and standing still. Like, they can sort of like launch a little man trap and catch her and she goes, oh, I'm gonna struggle, and yeah, that won't happen. But they try.
I must escape this tiny net.
So you notice that we might have just run through a room exactly like this before. Well, like, clearly whoever was doing security that day wasn't awake and they forgot to lock the door, but this time around they remembered. So unfortunately now we do actually have to engage and destroy every robot in the room. I've had very good luck with the targeting prior to that one, but a very good start. One other thing which I think we haven't mentioned yet is some robots. Oh, those lines! Some robots, the pills essentially, sort of the bread and butter security forces with the machine guns, the ones that can sort of sometimes have a plasma shot or missile launches. They also have an ability to just decide, oh, Vanessa's close to me, I'm just going to go on a timer and self-destruct and hopefully blow her up. But the size of the explosion is actually slightly smaller than the size of the trigger area to start their self-destruct countdown. So one of those there blew themselves up and I was just going, yeah, you can't catch me, I'll just let you do that.
I've seen you spend a lot more time in that room on previous runs, so that was a pretty good one.
It's quite variable. This one is when you go around the blind corner and sometimes you just walk into this sweep of fire. That's the best I've done that room in a very long time. We're through pretty much all the seriously scary stuff in Mission 10, and there's only one more mission after this. Yeah, this large friend here, I've got no idea why it's in this tiny cramped corridor, and even though there's so little room to maneuver, Vanessa can still just jump past it.
I mean, I think they were going from a plan, because there was one like that in the previous mission as well, and that one actually did obstruct you.
Yeah, the architect's not on the same page as the whoever's in charge of deployments, and now we get the nice version of the worst room in that it still takes up a lot of time because it's big, but it's just a checkpoint room. So we'll just walk through.
I just want to point out, even though the stream is clipping off the numbers at the cent value, we are on 9123.44. So unfortunately, we were like 1 cent short of a really cool number.
Unfortunate that a 1 cent donation just isn't practical.
No, it's not possible. But if we want to get to some more cool numbers, maybe now's the time to get that moving.
Hopefully you won't tread on one another's toes.
Yeah. Very good effort there. Just slightly off a really cool number.
Alright, so now one giant robot with bad targeting didn't work. Let's try 2. And
2 absolute units.
Yeah, the 2 large friends. Vanessa doesn't care, she just slips by. And okay, we're pretty much done with this mission. This is just another checkpoint room, a breather before the last encounter. So after we've had a pretty tough boss in the previous mission, we've had all sorts of scary things. And so up ahead of us now, instead we've got, it's the reactor for mission 2 again, only you're all powered up, and it was really easy last time anyway, so we'll just easily get rid of it without even the slightest bit of challenge. I did flood my input twice there, and that is the only way you can possibly be put in danger by this room. There's just no way that you can fail that.
What's the input for that plasma dragon?
Well, that one's basically a whirlwind kick, so down left.
Yep.
On the D-pad, followed by the A button. Alright.
The chat's concerned that there's more plot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, technically I've lied to you. Although he ran away from the plot, there is plot coming up. I guess we'll see how we go time-wise. Technically, the final cutscene isn't part of the game's RTA, so we could just let it play. Normally I skip it and just go straight to the credits, but if we're going well for time, we can let everyone discover what the plot is. All
We'll see. We'll
the meaty lore, the deep secrets of product number 3.
Hopefully we don't break hopefully we don't break a teacup between these two runs like last time.
Yes. So once again, that corridor there, if you stick to the absolute sides, the enemies, the robots themselves can't actually move far enough that they're capable of shooting you.
And this corridor used to just stay right in the middle, right?
Yep, because likewise, this is the turret friends that made our life really, really hard back in Mission 5. They're really good at shooting someone who isn't moving, so all you need to do is just start moving.
Poor robots.
Yeah, very shmup there.
Now that reminds me of the movie Mystery Men. There's the guy who's invisible, but only if no one's looking at him.
Yes.
And of course, that film was the debut of the single All Star by Smash Mouth.
Is it weird that that is the movie I associate it with?
That's not weird at all.
I always forget that it was even a thing in Shrek.
Uh-oh.
And there we go, the helpful robots. So
Yeah,
they
nice.
just saved like a tenth of a second.
Yeah, they pushed you forward.
It pushed
Good
me
work,
forward.
buddy.
Push you away from the laser as well.
Yeah, alright. So here we're going to try and get 3 for the price of 1. Or at least 1 and 2, 99%, that's fine. And then we get a freebie that doesn't actually help us because we need to do this one anyway. But
that cannon looks scary.
The cannons are very scary if they're able to hit you. Even on easy, they are basically guaranteed instant death against any of the basic suits. The only way to survive them is to have more barrier than these suits can get. So yeah, they don't track very well, fortunately. They play heck with the frame rate too, so you don't want to get hit by them, even if you're invulnerable, because the game turns into a slideshow. Now, probably the meanest room of this mission, mostly because it's just got a bunch of little challenges, all of which have got the potential to go slightly wrong and add up to a lot of meanness. So that enemy AI there was very kind to me. Normally, they'll shoot you before you can get them killed, and it's a pain in the neck. And this enemy, meanwhile, I'm just going to have to burn a bit of time. There we go. So there we see the self-destruct in action. Yeah,
the crouching.
Yes, so you can just crouch underneath the sweep to the side attack. Doesn't work for their shoot directly and forward attack, though. They've got 2 separate sets of guns. There we go once again. Got them very kind there. We've got 1 more enemy left to deal with the locked door. 1 more enemy, and it's helpful with the shield drone. Oh, yes. So that's the other nice thing about the Prima Blazer. Its damage output is good enough that you can sometimes kill those robots before their shield drone has time to spawn. Not possible with fusion. Walking our way forward. Right, there we go. One other thing that I haven't mentioned, it's not particularly important, but sometimes you'll see me jump and sort of land right next to a door. That's partly to, avoid those finesse faults, because while you're in a landing animation, the A button will work as a trigger for opening a door if you're in range of it, but it won't shoot, because Vanessa can't use that frame to activate anything combat-wise, rather.
What fighting gamers call an option select.
Indeed, you will get the most favourable outcome, assuming that outcome that you wanted was to open the door and get out. So, for people going for high scores, that is also capable of ruining you if you're not careful.
That's the same with where the little robot did its little self-destruct as well, right? That breaks combos.
Yes, so it doesn't break a combo, but it won't add to it. And
you won't get the full room combo, yeah.
So I've just flubbed the energy drive input twice in a row. And I position myself not ideally, so this isn't great. Thank goodness. Sometimes you just get lucky like that. Yeah, so we've had 3 of these sort of, big set-piece cannon rooms. This one's usually the trickiest, partly because there's more room to flub the hitting the cannons, and partly because the hands can sometimes just juke out of the way and not get hit by the Falcon. Harrier, rather. So this is the last laser room in the game. It always gets me on that first jump.
You did pause and think about it, but
and then I just still got it wrong.
Yeah. Oh well.
So it goes.
That's how the adrenaline goes.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got one last enormous, big, scary enemy gauntlet to run, and then it's boss rush time. I think we get all 3 of these fellas? We do. Nice. So the important thing was to make sure that the cannons were dead, because And there we go. Oh no, we want to get everyone in range. Sometimes the slope is a bit unkind to this energy drive, but it's not today. We do get a clean destruct on all 3 robots. So next up, we've got another line of cannons. Oh, there we go. Gonna get them. So the other problem with finesse faults on the specials is that when you shoot at an enemy with a regular attack, it forces the camera to center on them if they're too far away from the center of the screen, which can prevent you being able to catch enemies that are like split far apart with an energy drive. Good time for donations now. We're on our way to the end.
Yeah, we've gotta fight all 8 robot masters before you can beat Dr. Wily.
Alrighty, there's a couple of donations. So Anonymous gives $21.62, and they say, thank you for your entertainment and for giving your time for a great cause. Thank you, Anonymous, for your contribution. We really appreciate it. And from Pingu44,
hey,
$26.96. Hey Pitchy, came to make sure that Fantasy Zone was funded, and it's already done. Gotta go fast.
It is.
Yeah, we're all excited to see Pitchy's 2-3 runs coming up.
3 runs.
Oh, now this has been a horror run into this for Loenzan. The problem is I need to keep my energy for the next 2 phases, so I've got no choice but to hope I can just do damage with the palm shot while also getting out of the way and avoiding getting squished. So that attack is absolutely lethal. It's a guaranteed instant kill on Vanessa. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, I think we're all right now. A bit unfortunate to lose that time, but
yes.
Okay, phase 2 done, and now surprise! There's phase 3. It's become a beautiful butterfly, and there we go. Okay. So the Harry is not guaranteed to kill either of those phases in one shot. So I got out very lucky there.
Nice one. So we're getting very close to the end of the run now.
Yes, we have only the final boss left, Alran, the Mandrake. Unfortunately, okay. Let's see how we go.
And Alran, of course, returns in Bayonetta 2 as the whip.
And in Castlevania game of your choice.
Yes, indeed.
Alright.
Cutscene.
Yep, so now it's it was the big brain in the ceiling, now it's the big scorpion with cannons in its face. Okay, just gonna need a bit of focus here.
Just gotta get those crucial D-pad inputs in. And it's not time yet.
Not time yet. Time will be upon getting into a cutscene in the following room.
Yep, so when the screen goes black, white?
Black.
Yep, that's time.
Yep, basically there'll be a corridor and it will trigger a cutscene. How are we looking for time?
Looking okay, so not this room, the next one,
yep.
right?
Yep,
so it'll be black here, there'll be black again after this.
Yeah, keep the clock going. And
and
now when the screen goes black, I'll do my best to guess it. That will be time. It'll be time.
There we go.
All right.
It is 10:55, so we're a little bit ahead still, so we can afford to entertain the plot, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, here we go.
I guess my face is popular around here. Let me guess. You must be the client.
Oh no!
I've always thought you were quick, Vanessa. So, everything was a one-man show. You're the original. Well, I'm not sure about that. You know, a person's memory can be so vague. These days they can plant any memory into a person's mind. You never know if your memory is for real or made up. For all I know, my memory could have been planted as well. Tell me about it. Are you still going to try to make ends meet by being a mercenary? Let me sleep on it. I'm going home. Good night.
Alright, so as we mentioned at the very start of this run, the leaderboard is actually determined by in-game time, so it's actually 2 minutes of credits, yes. Which I think we have the time to play those credits out. We're also going to get prepped over here for Pitchy's run, which will be starting in 15 minutes, I think. And that's going to be Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance.
Yep.
So stick around.
2 runs.
We'll find out exactly how well Nicosar did shortly.
Yeah.
Can I have a drink, make a cup of tea, knock over the cup of tea.
Yeah, something like that.
Sounds like a good idea. So for everyone who did watch through that, I want to point out that that's one of 2 cutscenes in the game that has any dialogue at all, and it's the only one that has a conversation, because the only other spoken cutscene is just the one where we went, oh, we found the plot, and it consists of just Vanessa saying, oh, that's a clone, and then going to the conversation with the client. So, even though this has been a speedrun and everything but the final cutscene is skipped, you've seen about 80% of what the game's story has to offer.
Chat's asking what's with this dancing. These are the poses she makes when she
This was the
uses
teaser
energy
trailer.
drives.
Yeah, so basically every different energy drive is essentially a dance move. And the actual, the idle animations and all the shot animations are also, Vanessa sort of dancing around. You notice when she is idle, she's usually tapping her foot to a beat as well. So I think the devs sort of said, we kind of like the idea of someone being a bit more nimble and acrobatic. In development, she originally had a gun, and then they just decided, oh, that's a bit generic, we'll just give her a magic palm shot instead.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And, it's an unrepentantly horny game. The devs, make no secret of the fact that,
From memory, the press
this is a
release
family
talked about
friendly
how many. From memory, there was a press release, or at the very least, ad copy in magazines talking about the amount of polygons that her butt had.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Oh yeah, this was a Shinji Mikami.
Oh, yeah.
We've hit late night at ASM. Just want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Okay, I actually also have remarked much the same while watching this stream, so I'm not one to talk. But thanks everyone for your donations. We're going to find out what the actual in-game time was.
And rate of item collection. See you next mission.
It does taunt you with how many times you died and how many times you saved.
So look, 42:45.
I'm very happy with that. Marathons, never done that before, so quite pleased.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the game.
We're going to cut to intermission, and then we'll see you very soon.
We're not going to start earlier if we're ready to go earlier?
Well, I was hoping the cat would be here to fill in time, but he's not.
Well, I guess that can be management's call.
Alrighty.
Cool.
We'll go to intermission now, and we'll